As a foreigner, when you start learning German, you will learn German in Standard German. That's the language that all Germans understand. But when you go into different areas of Germany, you might encounter different dialects. There are many, many dialects in Germany. We will talk about a few. A few facts about the dialects in Germany. They are older than 1,000 years, and they existed long before Standard German. The most spoken dialect in Germany is the Bavarian dialect. We call that Bayerisch. It's no joke when I say that even Germans don't always understand every other German when they speak their dialect. Sometimes words are totally different. So it could happen that when you come from one area in Germany and you go to another area in Germany, that you will encounter new words. To be able to understand each other, we have a common language, Standard German, or Hochsprache, Hochdeutsch. This is the language that you will read, for example, the written language in books and newspapers. That's the language that's being taught in schools. This became very important in the 19th century. By that time, a lot of people spoke dialects, but then, because of things like the Industrial Revolution and growing mobility, and also higher education, and the focus on political unity, we needed a common language that everyone understands, no matter if you're coming from the north or from the south. And that is Standard German. To give you an idea how it sounds like when people speak dialect, I picked 3 different southern dialects. Bayerisch is mainly spoken in Bayern, Schwäbisch is mainly spoken in Baden-Württemberg, and with Fränkisch we have different variations which are spoken in Bayern, Baden-Württemberg, Rheinland-Pfalz und Nordrhein-Westfalen. Let's look at a few examples. I picked a few words and let's compare all those dialects with Standard German. For example, the word roll in Standard German would be Brötchen. That's what you say if you go to a bakery and you want to order some rolls. Brötchen. Now, someone coming from Bavaria might say Semmel instead of Brötchen. Someone coming from an area where they speak Schwäbisch, they might say Weg or Weckle. And someone speaking Fränkisch might say Weckla. Now I have to say that if you're not used to speak all those dialects, that the pronunciation could be challenging. Another example is the word church. In Standard German, you would say Kirche. In Bavarian, you could say something like Kirche. In Schwäbisch, Kirsch. In Fränkisch, Cash. One more example is a verb. If I want to say watch out in German, in Standard German I would say aufpassen. In Bayerisch they would say aufschauen. In Schwäbisch aufpassen. In Fränkisch Obacht. Once you start building sentences, or you're listening to conversations of people speaking in a dialect, it might get a little challenging. Let's look at one example. If you want to say I don't care in German, in Standard German you could say das ist mir egal or das ist mir Wurst. There are actually different ways of expressing yourself. But if you're in Bavaria and you want to speak Bayerisch, you might have to say, or you will hear, mir wurscht. In Schwäbisch, somebody could say, das juckt mich nicht. And in Fränkisch, someone might say, is ma wurscht.